Hold your horses there, young ones. How y'all doing, guys? This is right here for those of you who have, you don't have the time to watch every one of my storylines. I decided to make it easier for you. I'm gonna start making these videos now after the weekends of my little storylines, which is not really a week, really, because it takes like a month for one of these things to come out. But I'm gonna have this happen, and I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna tell you what happened on each show. I'm gonna go right through a little review through my whole little show, and you'll get a little game. You'll get the little matches that you're watching right now, just the match from the actual show. And every time I start talking about one of the new shows, you'll see the match that I thought was probably the best of the night. So right now you're probably seeing, which one are you seeing right now? I'm not sure. I'm like looking at my video right now, raw. So let's see. Let me check what's going on right here. Let's see. I probably put the, I don't know. Right, I already know what match I put, but I probably put the main event, which was this one right here: John Cena, Randy Orton, and Jericho, number one contender for the WWE Championship. But we started off the night with Edge coming out saying, we're about to determine who is the number one contender, because this is the show after Extreme Rules, and just who's the number one contender for the WWE Champion at Over the Limit, and who Brock Lesnar will face. And he named four people, but before he named all four people, he was interrupted by Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar would say, "No, I'm not defending my championship. I'm done. I'm not even going to fight the pay-per-view." Edge would say, "Well, guess what? Either you fight at the pay-per-view, or the next 3 weeks here on Raw, I will make sure you have matches where you have to defend the championship, and this match will not be easy, because it's going to be a championship scramble, and championship scrambles are not the easiest match of all of them, as you know." And then we would have Brock Lesnar go like, "Oh, you can't do shit. I'm gone." And as I said, he's still gonna do it. He's still gonna have the matches for tonight. So we kicked it off with Triple H versus John Cena, which was a pretty awesome match. John Cena would pick up the win. So there you go. John Cena picked up the win, so he would be headed to the main event to face whoever won between Orton and Jericho. And then we would have Triple H come out saying he doesn't think he has it anymore. He thinks it's just time for him to lay low, just to maybe step back and see if he's gonna continue his career. And then R-Truth out of nowhere comes out and says Triple H should just leave the hell out of here. He doesn't. He thinks Triple H is just scared. Triple H knows that he's gonna get embarrassed by someone. And then at that point, Triple H gave him the pedigree and told him to suck it, man. So then we would have Jericho versus Orton, which we thought was going to be a match, but apparently both of them counted themselves out, got a draw, and by technicality, none of them lost. So they both went on to the main event, and they would be facing John Cena, saying they would end John Cena in the main event. Then we would have another match here. Michael McGillicuddy and David Otunga challenging Trent Beretta, and Trent Beretta's guest partner, which would turn out to be the returning Santino Marella. And Santino and Trent would win the matchup, which was big for them because it was a cool tag team match. So then we move on. Speaking of tag team, we would move on to the tag team champions and their opponents at Over the Limit, where the phenomenal ones, Juan, would face the WWE Tag Team Champion William Regal, and he was accompanied by Daniel Bryan. The same for Juan. He was accompanied by AJ Styles. This was a fun match to watch. If you didn't watch it, it was a pretty cool match. And the winner of this match would turn out to be the one, the only, William Regal. And then we would have CM Punk coming out to air his grievances with what's been going on after being screwed over for the WWE Championship by Tyler Black. And he would say some few things, so if you haven't seen what he says, go ahead and see it. Then we would have Punk being interrupted by The Miz. The Miz says it's over. Punk should just stop crying about it. And then we would have a match between Punk and The Miz. And, well, it was simple. It was a good match. I'll give you that much. Good match between Punk and Miz. Took a while, and Punk would end up winning Punk would not end up winning the match because of one key factor. A man by the name of Seth Rollins. I think I said Tyler Black earlier. Fuck it. But Seth Rollins would come out and cost the match for CM Punk, and The Miz would capitalize. Whoa. CM Punk would lose the match. Sorry about that. My mic kind of cut off right there while I was recording. But CM Punk would lose the match because of Seth Rollins. And then we would have the match to determine the next number one contender for the United States Championship. Dolph Ziggler would come out in this one. It was a battle royal. Honico and Sin Cara. 4-man battle royal. Winner would be the one, the only Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler would eliminate Sin Cara at the end, so now Ziggler will be headed to Over the Limit for the United States Championship. Now the question was, who would be facing Dolph Ziggler at Over the Limit? Would it be Sheamus or will it be Del Rio? We'll find out later in the night who that was, and then we would have a little singles match between Darren Young of the Primetime Players versus JT Jeezy. And well, this one was a cool match between two guys, two young superstars on Raw. But Darren Young would get the best of him. Darren Young would win, and they would say they are going to be the best tag team ever. And then we would have the United States Championship match, which was Sheamus taking on Alberto Del Rio. We thought this was going to be it, but Del Rio would come out and say that Sheamus would get a championship match, and well, Sheamus was a little, I guess, he loves to fight, but he wanted Del Rio. But Del Rio would send out the European champion Wade Barrett, and Wade Barrett, he must have knew all about what Del Rio was about to do, because there is no other reason he would defend that European Championship against Sheamus, because Del Rio would end up screwing over Sheamus here, and Wade Barrett would win and retain his European champion. Wade Barrett still the European champion. And yeah, then we would head off to the main event time. But before we headed off to the main event, Edge found Del Rio in the back and told him, next week on Raw, you're defending that United States Championship in a best 2 out of 3 falls. But guess what? Sheamus only needs to pin you once, and you need to pin Sheamus twice. And if you do not do that, you will lose the United States Championship and the rematch that comes with it. And that was big, because that's what we're about to see next week. But then we would start the main event. Orton, Jericho, Cena, WWE #1 contendership on the line, and the winner by this match, we saw double team action from Jericho and Orton on against John Cena, but eventually it would break into a straight out triple threat match, every man for himself. But at the end, the biggest shocker of all, Jericho would hit a code breaker on Cena, and after that he walked out the ring and let Orton just get the pin. And I'm still figuring out why he did that. Why would he do that? I know they're in a group and all this and that, but you had the chance to have a championship match for the WWE Championship, and you just let him steal it from you. And I don't understand that. But Raw would end with Randy Orton celebrating, headed over to Over the Limit. He is the #1 contender, and he will be facing Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship. So it's time to switch it up now. Switch it up to the next show that happened, and I'm gonna go either NXT or ECW. Which one? Well, it's NXT. Let's go with NXT. NXT, the show of the young stars, the young guns. We kicked this show off nice, man. Nice way to kick it off. We kicked it off with Riley Sparks saying a little more information about the pay-per-view NXT Redemption, which you guys should be watching because it's soon to come up. And from what I've read, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be awesome. Actually, it's gonna be pretty cool. Good matches there. Chavo would interrupt him and tell him that he is going to fight anybody that comes in his way because he wants to have an NXT rookie again. And Riley told him, okay, you know what? You can beat Sin Cara. I'll give you any rookie you want. Chavo would tell him, I'm going to take away your rookie. How about that? And then Chavo would be in a match against Sin Cara. Chavo went back and forth. But at the end of the day, you want to know who won? Do you want to know one? I think you do. Sin Cara would win, but at the end of the match, Chavo just he laid out Sin Cara. He took down Sin Cara with a low blow and started just mangling the kid. And that was right there. And after that, we would have a little segment between Riley Sparks and Ryan Sparks. Ryan Sparks telling him, who's my boner for tonight? Who's this and that? And Riley would tell him, you have a match later tonight. You have a tables match against a kid. That's right. A kid who is my kid, who is my son, who is my baby, my little kid. He would take on C.J. Detweiler, which is Riley Sparks' rookie, in a tables match. And then we would see Daniel Bryan come out, which was a big surprise because we didn't think he would come out. But this NXT Redemption pay-per-view is starting to build something because there is a battle royal going on. And Daniel Bryan, well, guess what? He's going to be in the pay-per-view in a battle royal. But after that, he said all that, guess who would come out? The former NXT, a former NXT rookie, an NXT alumni, Wade Barrett would come out and say, I'm going to be in that And I'm going to be in that match too. And I'm going to have a submission match with you right now. So Daniel Bryan and Wade Barrett would have a submission match, which was pretty cool, pretty awesome. These two went all out right here on NXT. It's probably the match I'm going to show. Probably, maybe not. There was also this show is full of good matches, from in my opinion. And Wade Barrett would win by the way of submission. You know, that's the only way to win. So Wade Barrett picked up the win. After that, we would have Richie Steamboat come out and say he is the best high flyer in the division, and the light heavyweight championship would be coming back, from what he was saying, but we don't have no official word on that yet. And then Justin Gabriel will come out and say, I'm going to be part of that battle royal, and I'm about to show you who the best high flyer in the WWE is. This match was awesome. It was fun. It was entertaining. It was what we expected. Two guys who can fly around, flying around the rings like monkeys. But guess who had a ruin? And Arn Anderson would come out and screw over Justin Gabriel, and Richie Steamboat would pick up the win. And then Riley Sparks said, I'm sick and tired of this crap. Riley Sparks told Richie, get out the ring, and Arn, you stay in the ring. I'm bringing out the WWE champion, Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar would come out and demolish Arn Anderson, leaving Arn Anderson to a pulp. Oh, God, that was just not right. So we would move on later in the night, and we would see Riley Sparks rookie CJ Detweiler take on Ryan Sparks. That was a fun match. So yeah, we had Ryan Sparks and CJ Detweiler in what would be a tables match, which was a very entertaining match. So if you haven't seen it, go watch it because it was very entertaining. This whole show was entertaining, actually. The matches were fun. The matches were cool. The winner of this match would end up being, well, guess who? The one, the only CJ Detweiler. We would toss Sparks into the table and win. Well, he would spear him, pretty much is the main word. And then we would get a little bit of a promo from Dolph Ziggler and Ryan Duggan about their match coming up next. The big match right here. If Dolph Ziggler won this one, he would get one more match against Ryan Duggan at NXT Redemption. And if Ryan Duggan won, well, guess what? He would have gotten freedom from Dolph Ziggler. And this match was a phenomenal match again. These two just outshined themselves the last match, and they did great, honestly, in my opinion. A good matchup between the two. And the winner of this match would end up being Dolph Ziggler. So now Dolph Ziggler will be facing Ryan Duggan at the NXT pay-per-view, the NXT Redemption. And then we would end up closing the night with two surprise entries to the Battle Royal, which would be former NXT rookie Michael McGillicuddy and former NXT rookie Skip Sheffield, now Ryback. And Ryback would dominate McGillicuddy. This match was not even close. Ryback would win by way of submission, and that was NXT right there. And well, hopefully it was quick. I don't fucking know. I'm not keeping count of my time here. So then we would move on to EC friggin' W. And the ECW, this one was an explosive one right here. Kicked off the night looking to a new intro song. That was pretty cool. But we kicked off the night with an awesome match in my opinion. I think it was cool. The match between RVD and Jeff Hardy, Extreme Rules. These two men will be facing off at Aftershock, but with JBL and Kurt Angle also in it, and number one contendership rights for the ECW Championship. And this match was awesome. Jeff Hardy, RVD had a good match. Let's see what they were knocking each other out. They were doing the ECW thing, high flying maneuvers, all this and that. And the winner would turn out to be Rob freaking Van Dam, and Van Dam gets a little bit of momentum for that pay-per-view, but after the match, RVD would put his hands out to Jeff Hardy, telling him, respect, man, respect. Then we would get to see a little thing about what happened at the dark match for ECW. We would see the attack of Beer Money by their challenger, the opponents, the champions, the tag team champions, Abyss and Vance Archer. They would attack, and then we would see the Nigel McGuinness challenge come back, yes! Nigel McGuinness would open up that challenge again, and the man that answered it the first time came back to answer it again. MVP came out to face Nigel McGuinness, so we thought, okay, MVP's going to win this one. MVP had the match in the bag, but Matt Hardy would come out and screw over MVP. Nigel McGuinness picked up the win. And after the match, Nigel McGuinness just kept running his mouth about how good he was after he defeated MVP. And that was Nigel McGuinness right there in a moment. Next was Samoa Joe, who had a match where he would team up with someone special, Chris Masters, to take on the Amazing Red and his Samoa Joe's opponent for Fearless, the TV champion, Austin Aries. Austin Aries and Red against Joe and Chris Masters, which turned out to be a pretty fun tag team match, in my opinion. And the winners of this match would end up being Joe and Masters, you know. Oh, well, you can't always win them all, right, Austin Aries? And after the match, Chris Masters would attack Amazing Red, and then fuck it, you know, we would end up moving to the next match. Another preview of what to expect at Fearless when Kurt Angle took on JBL, John Bradshaw, Layfield, Jerry. This was a good, cool match because it was Extreme Rules. Everything was going crazy too. They were trying to outshine the RVD Jeff Hardy match, and they almost did, but not really, because Jeff and RVD just put something crazy. But the winner would be JBL. JBL would defeat him, and that was it. Then we would move on to another match that would feature the Hardcore Champion and Cruiserweight Champion Diego Diaz teaming up with Mr. Anderson to take on Big Daddy Cool Kevin Nash and his partner, the ECW Champion Batista. And this one was a cool main event, cool match, cool good stuff. A lot of stuff came out of this. Anderson and Diego Diaz would pick up the win, and Anderson after that would drop his own little pipe bomb, but he calls it a mic bomb, talking so much crap about Batista and how all this and that, how Batista wasn't dedicated to the ECW brand, and how at any moment Batista could just leave ECW. And so Mr. Anderson said, let's have a match. The winner stays in ECW and wins the ECW championship. The loser gets the hell out of ECW. So someone is leaving ECW at Fearless, depending if Batista accepts the challenge, which I think he will, but we'll see what happens on ECW coming up. So that's ECW in a flash. Oh yeah. So let's move on to the next thing. Divas. Wednesday Night Divas, the show you came here about. The show you come here onto this channel here. So here we go. The Divas show started off with Trish Stratus coming out and talking crap about the Divas division nowadays. And then AJ would come out and say, you know what? You want a chance at the championship? Don't worry about it. I'll whoop your ass for this. I'll make sure of this. And Trish would say, get out of here, you little girl. I don't care, all this and that. So Trish and AJ really just looking a little bit, you know, looks like something's about to go off there. And then we would have our first match of the night where we thought it would be Angelina Love versus Michelle freaking Cool. And this match was, we thought we were about to see the first action, at least between the beautiful people. Michelle McCool get herself counted out, leave the ring, and Angelina Love would pick up the win. And after that, they said they haven't had a match yet here on WWE. They haven't won anything yet. And their first match on WWE apparently will be against, Velvet Sky taking on Layla next week, where if Layla and Michelle McCool lose, they will have to face the beautiful people in a tag team match. But if the beautiful people lose, then they would leave the WWE and never come back. So hopefully that you'll see what happens next week. Layla still has not accepted the challenge either. Then we'd have Maurice coming out saying last week's win by Maxine was just a fluke and it wouldn't happen again. Maxine would come out and she would win again. And with this time, it was more evident that Trent Beretta played a key role than last week. And Maxine would pick up the win. She would beat Maurice. Maurice was just furious. Then we would have another Divas match. Alicia Fox teaming up with Oksana. Hello. Against Caitlyn and Kelly Kelly. The debut of Caitlyn. Beautiful womans. And here we go. The tag team match was cool. The tag team match was fluid. It was doing what it had to do. And it was good. And Kelly and Caitlyn would lose to Alicia Fox and Oksana. Simple as that. It was a long tag team match. So, yeah, that's one other thing. And then we would have our main event where the Divas of Doom, the number one contenders for, one's for the Women's Champion, one's for the Divas Championship. And they would face the Women's Champion AJ and the Divas Champion Eve Torres. This was a good match, a great main event to kick it off, and then we would figure out that the Divas of Doom would not succeed because Eve and AJ won the match, and well, that was it. That's Divas right there, and we'll hey, make sure you turn to Divas. Divas is always a good show. Just saying, just saying. So next thing we did was Superstars. So you ready for the Superstars one? Because it was the start of the tag team tournament, and we started off. Wait a second, I heard like a weird noise. Then we started off with Epico and Primo, accompanied by Rosa Mendes, taking on the team of, well, guess who? Who? Against the team of the debuting Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. It was some good action, some good fast-paced action, some good quick action, some good matches. A good match right here. The Motor City Machine Guns would win, though. They would win until they advanced to the next round of the tag team tournaments. After that, they would say they're here to save wrestling, tag team wrestling. They're the guys to do it. And after that, we would see Otunga and McGillicuddy come out to face off against JTG and JTG's mystery partner. And guess who it was? Guess what? We saw that. After we saw Otunga and McGillicuddy come out, we saw that parent advisory thing. Then we heard it. Grime Time was back. Grime Time is back in the WWE. And they were back. Chad, Gaspar, JTG are back here in tag team action. And it was quick. That's all I'm going to say. One huge boot from Chad to David Otunga knocked him out, and Michael McGillicuddy didn't even try to help at all. David Otunga. Crime Time would win. They move on to the next part of the tag team tournament. And then we would have the team of Yoshi Dust, Goldust and Yoshi, taking on the team of you know the team. Billions of dollars, billions of dollars, billions of millions, whatever. The Primetime Players. In this one right here, the Primetime Players did what they did, and they won the match. They beat Goldust and Yoshi, eliminating them from the tournament, and that was it for the Yoshi Dust. The Primetime Players move on, and yeah. So then we moved on to our main event. Tyson Kidd and Justin Gabriel taking on the Awesome Truth in an elimination-style tag team wrestling. And Justin Gabriel was the first eliminated. Tyson Kidd would have to take on The Miz and R-Truth all by himself, but he would succeed by taking out R-Truth. But now the question was, can he take out The Miz? And it didn't look like he was going to be able to do it. It did not look like he was going to advance his team. And it looked like The Miz was going to win. But guess who helped out Tyson Kidd and Justin Gabriel? The one, the only, the Game Triple H, making a rare appearance on Superstars and screwing over The Miz, helping Tyson Kidd and Justin Gabriel pick up the win. So Kidd and Gabriel advanced, and that was Superstars. So let's get on to the next one. SmackDown was a fun show too. Fun show, always a fun show, but doesn't seem to get much love nowadays. SmackDown kicked it off. We kicked it off with Shelton Benjamin apparently coming out to say something and was interrupted by Duncan telling him, don't say anything. We're about to figure out who your number one contender is for Over the Limit, and we're gonna figure out if you can even be at Over the Limit defending that championship, because Kofi Kingston wasn't part of that match, and tonight Kofi gets a World Heavyweight Championship match. So the next match would be the 6-man number one contendership battle royal for, well, the World Heavyweight Championship. Winner gets to become the number one contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. We saw Christian come out. Christian was the first one. Then it came out to Brodus Clay. Then we saw Wade Barrett. We saw Kane. We saw Ray. And we saw the woo-woo kid himself, Zack Ryder. The winner of this match would be Christian, but Christian would have to eliminate Zack Ryder, and Rey Mysterio was the fourth guy eliminated. Rey Mysterio was the fourth guy eliminated. Christian would say he's not going to disappoint this time. He is going to win the World Heavyweight Championship. Then we would have an internet fans' wet dream. Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles. A little preview of it. We felt this match was going to be good, and it was. It was a good match, but it had a really bad ending because, well, guys, AJ Styles is now a heel. He has joined Riley's world because Riley Sparks helped screw over Daniel Bryan, and Riley's world was in effect this night, telling Shelton Benjamin, either you join us or you lose that World Heavyweight Championship and you go back to nothing. And Shelton told him, you know what, leave me the frick alone. I am the best. I'm going to beat anyone who comes in my way. I've done it before and I'll do it again. I'll just keep doing it and doing it. I am the Cinderella Man. And after that, we would have a tag team match between the Divas. AJ and Beth teaming up against Oksana and Karma. And we thought AJ and Beth would somehow, get a little bit the win, but they didn't. Oksana and Karma picked up the win. AJ would leave Beth Phoenix in there, and Beth after the match started, what the hell was that all about? And AJ told her, I don't have to protect you, I don't do anything. So then we had a match, the number one contendership match again, and And this was it. This was whoever won this match would have a match against the World Heavyweight Champion on Monday Night Raw. So it was Ray and Zack Ryder. One of these two men would be heading to Monday Night Raw to face off against the World Heavyweight Champion. Because apparently Mr. Duncan felt there's another one that needs to happen. Another one of these matches. Ray would win, so he's headed off to Monday Night Raw to face off against the World Heavyweight Champion. Then we had an Uso, the Jey Uso, take on Antonio Cesaro, being accompanied by his partner. And this one was a match where Cesaro would dominate, and so did Sandow, and they won the match. That's sorry, Cesaro won the match. Then we have Justin Gabriel come out to a match where he would take on Drew McIntyre, and Drew McIntyre would also face Riley Sparks. And what was Mr. Duncan's match for Riley Sparks? A triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship, and Riley Sparks would pick up the win, staying as champion. But after he took the mic, he was surprised by a little bit of the men he had attacked earlier that night. Zack Ryder, William Regal, and Daniel Bryan came out and laid out Ryan Sparks. Then we'd have Cody Rhodes coming to tag team action with Jack Swagger to take on the team of, you guessed it, the Motor City Machine Guns. The guns were ready to shine. But Swagger and Cody Rhodes gave one hell of a battle. And you can't take that away, but the Motor City Machine Guns would pick up the win. And then we'd have the World Heavyweight Championship match between Kofi and Shelton Benjamin. And the winner would be no one. That's right, Kane would come out and interfere in this match and attack everyone. And that... I'm saying everyone. He would attack the Shelton and Kofi, man. And the match was over. The match was called just to a draw. So Shelton still stays the champion. He will face Rey Mysterio on Monday Night Raw for the World Heavyweight Championship. And Kane would be the last man standing. At the end of SmackDown, Kane was just doing what he does, smiling and laughing. So next thing we did was kick off the first ever Saturday Morning Slam. And this match was cool. We started off with AJ versus Beth Phoenix, Women's Championship on the line. Beth Phoenix would lose. AJ would retain her championship. Awesomeness. Then we would move on later to our next match, a SmackDown versus Raw match. Christian, CM Punk. You have not watched that match? I suggest you watch it because it was a pretty cool match, pretty good commentating, all this and that. And then we would have the main event, Tyson Kidd versus Wade Barrett for the European Championship. Another great commentated match. Tyson Kidd would not prevail. Wade Barrett would win by way of submission again. So Wade Barrett retained it, and that was Saturday Morning Slam. He retained his European Championship. So we will move on to the next Saturday show. We had 3 shows that night. That's right. We had also Nitro. Nitro, the monthly Nitro was here. And it kicked off pretty cool. The Miz and R-Truth were saying any team in the back that used to be a WCW team and wants a fight, come out here. And the guys that would answer it were Demolition. Demolition said, we're not going to, you know what, we're tired of hearing this crap from you. But the Miz and R-Truth would pick up the win, which sucked, but they picked up the win. So it sucked, but hey, what you going to do about it, right? And then we had Chavo says, no one's going to embarrass me here in WCW. So I challenged the Goldberg wannabe Ryback. And Ryback would come out and destroy the living bejesus out of Chavo Guerrero. Then we would have a match I was excited to see. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat against Dolph Ziggler, which was a phenomenal little match between these two kids right here. And it looked at the end, guess what happened? Richie Steamboat, the son of the Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, would betray Dolph Ziggler and pretty much betray perfection. Now, Richie Steamboat looks like he's going out on his own. He does not need perfection anymore. Ricky the Dragon, would win the match. Then we have a big one right here. Sheamus versus Arn Anderson. A match built up from a couple weeks ago on Monday Night Raw when Arn Anderson told him, you're not going to be champion anymore. You're going to lose it, and you're going to lose everything because you don't know what it is. You should just join perfection with me. And Sheamus and Arn Anderson had a long match, a good match. Sheamus would end up winning, but, you know, that leg of Sheamus is getting hurt a lot nowadays. So watch out with that leg of Sheamus. That bro kick might not even be working as much as well anymore. Sheamus would pick up the win, simple as that. Then we would head out to the main event, Rey Mysterio versus Kofi Kingston. You know, the former #1 contender versus the new #1 contender, which would end up with Kofi Kingston beating up Rey Mysterio. But while Rey was down on the ground, Kofi was celebrating. The big red monster came out again and attacked Kofi Kingston for the 3rd time. These attacks against Kofi Kingston, I don't know what Kane is doing, but I guess we'll learn in the following weeks. So let's close it out here. This is it. Impact. The last show I got to review for you guys. Impact started with a bang, big time bang. It kicked off with Vladimir Kozlov and Jason Jacobs in a big time match. Extreme Rules, better than I thought would happen. Jacobs would pick up the win over Kozlov. Kozlov still has not won a match in a while. So we moved on to Devon and Bubba Ray, the Team 3D, taking on the Team of Crisis. Crisis would end up winning that match. And Team 3D needs to take a look in the mirror now because they didn't win. The next one is Ric Flair came out, and we didn't know what the hell was going on. And then we saw some guy come out, and we recognized him. It was Cliff West being accompanied by Mick Foley. And Cliff West is now part of TNA. And, oh, sorry, shit. I just confused everyone. It's part of ECW now. He is now part of the ECW brand. He was released by Riley Sparks in NXT, and now he is part of the ECW brand. He made his Impact debut against Ric Flair, and what was a fun match. What should have been a match finished early, but Scott Steiner kept interfering and all this and that. But Cliff West would pick up the win, and after that, he would call out Riley Sparks and tell him, come here to Impact and defend that Intercontinental Championship against me next week. I'll be waiting here. And we'll see what happens. We'll see if Riley Sparks even knew that what's going on. Then we had Gail Kim and Mickie James closing out the night with the main event in a steel cage match, which was awesome. The ECW Women's Championship on the line. It looked like Gail was gonna win, but ECW Women's Champion Mickie James said, "I can climb it. I can just go out through the door." Mickie James would win, and Mickie James would take the mic and be attacked by Gail Kim, but she would throw punches back, and then we just lost time, and that was it. That was the end of the show. So, thank you guys for watching this. I know it was very long. Sorry about that, but thank you very much. Peace out, guys.